Hello, welcome to Farrell Swim Tech. My name is John Farrell, and this is the live stream where I take my 15 plus years of competition experience and now 13 years of private coaching experience to help you get faster in the pool. This is a live broadcast here on Team Zoot's Facebook page, but if you want to check out past episodes and all of the swim analysis that I do, Rumble and YouTube, Farrell Swim Tech. If Instagram, Farrell Swim Tech. I keep promising I'm gonna one of these days I'm gonna get those numbers on procrastination, and I'm also gonna be able to continuously upload stuff to Instagram and farrellswimtech@gmail.com for any inquiries, any questions. Want me to review a product? Call me. Send me product. I will review it. I have no problems with that. But yeah, so, today I have a head cold, at the time of recording, so I may have to mute the mic a little more than necessary, but yeah, them's the bricks. When your child gets a flu, you get the cold. Yay. Okay, so we're going to talk about recovery today. Recovery, because we've talked for 3 episodes about the pull. The first episode is kind of like pull theory in general. Second episode was about the catch, and the third episode is more about like stroke rate and all the rest of the stuff with the pull underneath the water. Today we're going to talk about recovery, which is everything that happens above the water. So essentially what we do when we finish our pull, get it above the water and come to the front. So in general, when we're recovering, what we want to avoid 2 major things. Number 1, we want to avoid dead spots in the recovery phase. And typically those are either in the start of the recovery phase or the finish of the recovery phase. And the biggest problem is with the dead spots, you wind up completely, you know what? I just remembered. I got a buddy of mine who just sent me video, and he's totally cool. He's totally cool with me sharing this. So oh shoot, no, I don't have my Google credentials stored on that. One second here. I'm kind of doing this. There you go. I'm gonna go there, and oh, I need to go here. Yeah. So with recovery, it is important to let's see here. Where did I go? All right, there we are. There you go. There. Gotta grab my buddies. There you go. Download. Download. Because he shows, Buddy Henry shows a really good what happens. Okay, that's gonna take a minute. So essentially what we want to focus is not having a dead spot here or here. Okay, basically in between those 2 positions, it doesn't necessarily matter what you do. There's a couple things that we want to avoid. I mean, a couple major things. We want to avoid a crossbody recovery where typically the shoulder comes back, the arm breaks the vertical plane, and then you come here. Because typically right side on the right, you want to keep our right arm on the right. Now, there's a talk, there's a lot of talk between bent elbow recovery and straight arm recovery. Doesn't necessarily matter. I mean, there's pros and cons to both of them. I typically use a bent elbow recovery, and I go a little bit straighter when I'm very, very lazy. But realistically, there's not that much of a difference. So like for instance, okay, while that's finishing downloading, I'll queue up my own videos. So let's go normal here, and then we'll go analysis. Okay, what the heck? What the frick? What? Why is my analysis not working? Uh-oh. This isn't good. I didn't test. Great. I'm sorry. We're having technical difficulties right now. What the heck is going on here? So filter and scene analysis. Why is it waiting for OBS? Oh, come on. Don't tell me. All right, hold up. My Stream Deck is malfunctioning. Hold on, I got to reboot my Stream Deck. Elgato Stream Decks, these things are fantastic. I love them. These things are awesome. My only problem is sometimes they don't. Every once in a while, it doesn't work. And then when it doesn't work, it just annoys the snot out of me. Okay. Wow, this is... Okay, we're going to have to go on manual. I got to dig down and figure out what's going on here. Hold on here. Wait a minute. Why am I not able... Okay, there we go. Okay, so... Oh, yeah, that's right, because that's where it is. Okay, I will... One of these days, I'm going to get my life together. And everything will just work fantastically every single time. Okay, hold on. Crop. There you go. Okay. All right. Here we go. So here's me swimming. So you see, we're going to go here. So we're going to stop here. Actually, let's back up a little bit. Okay. So we always want to start the recovery with the hand outstretched behind us. We want to finish the pull. What we want to avoid is, let's go here. We want to avoid doing this, okay, where we haven't finished the pull. So we don't want to be here and then bring our hand out this way. That's actually one of the worst things that you can do. Think about it this way, okay? So you pull here, your elbow gets behind, your hand is forward. You're going to try and lift this elbow out of the water instead of lifting the elbow out of the water after the hand is finished pulling. So you get here and then you try and bring your elbow out. You're pushing all this water up, actively slowing you down. So you always want to finish the pull, get your hand near the surface of the water, and then simply lift the elbow up to get it out of the water. We'll do some dry land standing exercises to help you kind of understand how this works. But we're gonna turn that back on. So you see here, my hand is extended. Up. Oh, come on. All right, hand is extended. So then the elbow comes up, and then the hand comes forward. Elbow up, hand forward. So the hand's back, elbows up, okay? Elbows up. Hand is just over the water. And then the hand comes straight forward into the water, okay? So that's the basics of a workable recovery. Now, is my recovery picture perfect? Not necessarily. If I wanted to drill down, usually my arm comes way too wide. I want it much closer to my body. I want the elbow much higher, much more rotation, blah, blah, blah. Recovery is one of those pieces of technique as a triathlete you really can kind of get away with being a little bit more sloppy on. And the whole reasoning is as long as you're not pushing water forward, getting the arm out of the water, and if you're not, you know, if you're getting your hand in the right place when the recovery finishes, how it gets from point A to point B is not necessarily insanely important. I mean, this is kind of that piece where as long as the beginning and the end look good, what happens in the middle about 90% of the time you're fine with. You're perfectly okay however you do it. However, there's good, better, best. One second. There's good, better, best. There's ways that waste energy. There's ways that are more energy conservative. That's more of, quite frankly, you have more important areas to work on. Because if you're a really slow swimmer, having a better recovery in terms of what happens between point A when you finish the pull and point B when you start the pull, not necessarily the thing you want to focus on. But if you just have just these couple of basics correct, you're going to be in the ballpark enough to where you don't need to worry about that legitimately until you're like 120 per 100. Once you get to about 120 per 100, that's when you want to start focusing in on, actually, no, well, I'd say about 130 per 100. About 140 per 100 is when you're going to really start focusing on rotation. You know, trying to get rotation into your stroke to help make your stroke more powerful on average, using your core in order to get that extra power. But when you get below 130, and especially if you're hitting the 120 range and you're like professional and stuff, that's when you're going to want to start focusing on the recovery path. So for most of you that are watching this, the big takeaways from today are going to be: finish the pull, get the hand in the right position to start the next pull. That and don't allow the hand to cross over your center line. If you're anywhere within over here with your arm, you're okay. You're okay. But okay, so let's that video finished downloading. So let me grab my buddy's video here. So okay. So let's get him swimming. All tile pools are crazy to me. All right. So you see right here, dead spot. So his lead arm has a massive dead spot. We actually really, really, really want to avoid this, okay? The back of his pull is actually pretty good. He gets about 90% there with his pull. This is actually a guy I got to do a stroke technique video for, so this is like a warm up for that. He's not. So you see his elbow is bent. So he's like about 90% of the way there. He just needs to go, boop, just extend that arm just a little bit more to finish the pull. But he uses a long pause there. Pause. As well as a major catch-up stroke when he swims. So the recovery phase starts when your hand comes out of the water, and it finishes when your hand starts pulling. So that's why I talk about dead spots a lot more with recovery, as opposed to the dead spots with the pull itself. Usually dead spots with pull happen about midway, where people think they come and then they go, you know, they store power, so to speak, and then they push through the second half of the pull. So with the recovery, you know, we want to avoid long leads and long finishes. We just want to keep the stroke going. Okay, so let's just kind of do let's do a comparison here. One second. So this is not so we're swimming roughly with about the same intensity. Just one of the main differences, the kick way too wide, and then the pull is I get a pretty decent underwater, but we don't care about the underwater. The big thing with the pull is that long leader. I'm going to shove that over there. Oh, I can't move it while it's playing. 1 second. Let's get this. Let's get this off of here. We're going to move that there. Then, nope. There. So here's me swimming at a very slow pace. So you can see so this is about 140 per 100 pace, and this for me is like insanely slow. And I get it. This is slow for me. Okay, people, we all have different definitions of slow. But basically what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot more stalling with the pull. So long glide sessions with the hand outstretched. So, but you're going to see I'm getting all the way to the back. Oh, my right hand actually stalls out in the back, and I almost screwed up that turn. So you see a little bit of hesitation with the right hand as it finishes the pull. Left hand, it comes to the back, up to the front. Nice. Yeah, my kick really sucks. That's the main difference here. But yeah, so then you take that and then you compare that to my normal pace. So this is like sub 130 per 100. It's like between 120 and 130. You see the difference is my hand finishes and it's back to the front. Finishes, back to the front. Finishes, back to the front. So you can kind of see I have a little bit of a hesitation with the hand out in front. But you see kind of this whole cycle continuously moving. And then just for kicks and giggles, this is what the recovery looks like when you're going really fast. So you can see that the hand is mostly always going. The pause that you see is the actual catch, is when I'm grabbing that water and then pushing it backwards. So this is like basically a sub 110 per 100 pace with this. So, yep. So that's a bunch of video evidence here. Let's get rid of that crop. Okay, so let's kind of dive in. Let's get behind, and we will show off. We'll show off the. So I'll show you guys what's going on, and I'm gonna mute that one. Okay, 1 second. I gotta let me blow my nose real quick, and then we'll get back there. All right. Okay. So let's move these out of the way. Get this a bit higher. Okay. So actually no. Let's go side camera first here. Let's go side camera. So we're gonna hide. No, wrong one. That one. Okay. So when we're swimming, let me show you what's going on above and below the water. So we're going to finish the pull here. So we're going to rotate the shoulders a little bit. We'll talk about rotating in a episode in the future. But for now, you only need about 45 degrees, so about this much. So when you're here, your shoulders under the water. And then as you're pulling with the other arm, this shoulder goes down, this shoulder comes up. Your recovery shoulder comes out of the water, okay? The more you rotate the shoulder, the easier it is to recover, okay? One of the biggest issues that I see with recovery is people do not have any rotation. And this is why a lot of people sweep their arm out over the water as opposed to having a bent elbow recovery. Because if you try and bring that elbow up with a flat shoulder, it's really going to hurt. It's going to hurt your shoulder. So you want to have, all you have to do is just push this lower shoulder down while you swim, and then just a little bit, okay? Because remember, with water, it's very easy to go over, and then you're going to get into what's called a cross-body recovery. I'll show that with the front camera, but for the side camera, you just want to dip that shoulder down just a little bit, so then the elbow can come up, the hand stays down, and then the hand moves forward into the water, okay? So one of the things that I learned with Tridot's Pool School, which, by the way, Tridot, shout out to Mark's podcast on Friday, but Tridot will be on Friday, and they'll be talking a lot about their program. I did Tridot Pool School 2 years ago now, and it actually was really good. It was really informative for me as a coach. Legitimately, I had what's her face, the giddy up gal, giddy up triathlon, crap, totally blanking on her name, but she was my instructor, and she was watching my stroke, and she basically said, just when you reach forward, have your hand be a little bit lower underneath the water. That's like legitimately all she said. But what we want to do, and this is something that they teach, is when your hand is going to enter the water, it wants to be somewhere out here, and then you put your hand in like it's a glove. One of the biggest problems I see with people on the recovery, and this goes to making sure the arm is in the right place before the pull. I see people put their hand in here and then push it all the way underwater. Because when they start here with their hand in the water, they're pushing water forward every single time. So people, one of the more common mistakes I see is when they put their hand in the water here. You just want to keep that hand over the water until about here. It's about a foot in front of my face, and then you're here, and then it's just a slight extend rather than coming in here and pushing forward. So what we need to learn is we need to learn a way how to teach our elbow to stay up until that hand gets about here, okay? Like I said, about a foot in front of my face, and then it enters the water. All right, so that's going to be the objective of our next of our dry land exercises when it comes to pulling. So now what we're going to do is wrong one. I'm going to bring that camera back. So now let me show you what I'm talking about when it comes to cross-body recovery. So we're back on the bench. And what winds up happening is if, so the flat shoulder, so let me show you kind of the flat shoulder here. So shoulder rotation is really important in swimming. There's going to be a whole episode dedicated to this. All you need to know is that if you don't rotate the shoulder, it's going to be very hard to do a recovery. You see where my elbow is? Now I'm going to try and slowly bring my elbow up while keeping my shoulders flat. See? My hand is right here. My hand is actually underwater at this point. If I rotate the shoulder, this hand gets lifted out of the water, and right here, it's right at about water level. Okay, my fingers are about water level. So it comes over here, and then I'm going to be more flat. And then as I start to pull, the shoulder dips down, so then the other hand is able to come out of the water. So the major issue is the flatter your shoulders are, the more possibility you're either A, completely flatlining you're flatlining your recovery. excuse me. So your hand is coming completely flat out to the side and a wide sweeping pattern. Or you're trying to do this and you're going to wreck your shoulders. Especially if you have shoulder issues already, it is not going to feel good like at all. So what we want to do is we want to start introducing that shoulder rotation, so then the hand can come over the water. So there's one other pitfall that you can do with the recovery, and that's over rotating. Where if I'm here and then my shoulder winds up coming, my elbow comes over here. So usually if someone has a wide pull, so they do a crossbody pull, usually this happens with the breath. So what they do is they go here, they go super wide with the pull, and then the recovery is like all out of sorts. It's either here with the straight arm or here with the bent elbow. So what's happening is, excuse me, so as they come over the water, the elbow is here, the shoulder is over rotated, and that's because the hand is completely on the wrong side of the body. So the way we want to fix that is just keep the left arm on the left. If you keep this left arm at the center line, the elbow is not going to cross the body. The elbow is going to stay here on the right side of the body, and you'll get that out of the water in the right place. Okay, so we're gonna scoot my bench over. Excuse me. So now, okay, let's get a little more vertical room now. Excuse me. So there we go. All right. So what we want to do is we need to get our hand. So we're pulling here. We want to finish the pull down here with our hand at our side. So we want to be able to get the hand up and reaching here before we start the next pull. Okay? So here is your dry land exercise. What you're going to do is you're going to stand up, face forward. And then we talked about this before, where we want to bring the elbow back. So what we're going to do is we're going to slowly, and take this nice and slow when you're starting to learn the arm motion. So we're just going to take one arm at a time, so it's like we're doing single arm freestyle. So we're going to drive the shoulder back, and then just drive the elbow back. Okay, you want to do this about 10 times. Okay, so you see as the hand draws up, and what you want to do is you actually want your thumb on your body. Okay, so you're going to be here, go about mid, and then bring it back down. Rotate, back down. So what we're doing is we're working on getting that elbow behind us in order to bring the hand out of the water, and we're doing it with the shoulder rotation. Okay, keep that head forward. So this is the stroke when you're not taking your breath. So when you take your breath, you're going to be here and then back down, but when you're not taking a breath, you're here and then back down. Here, back down. Okay, so you want to do this about 10 times. So we're going to solidify this starting point with our hands. Shoulder back, hand right at about body level, elbow is behind us. Okay? Just nice and easy. 10 times. 3 sets of 10. Okay? And then this is also going to help strengthen the shoulders, because we're not used to having our hand right here at our shoulder, because I'm feeling it in my shoulders right now. So we're going to come here, back down. There, back down. Okay? So then the second part is you're going to start here. And then as you're reaching the hand up, you're going to not bring it in right here. We're going to keep that hand behind us. Keep that shoulder rotated. Keep the hand behind us. And now we put it in. Now we put it in. Okay? So watch yourself in a mirror. So the camera is just like I'm watching a mirror. So as my shoulders rotated, I'm going to kind of sneak a peek at the mirror, bring my hand up behind my head. You're going to bring it behind your head right about here, and then reach forward with the hand slightly in front, okay? So this is straight. This is where we want our hand to be, with the shoulder rotated forward, okay? Because then we're ready to grab and push the water, all right? So start here, 10 sets of 10, 10. 1, 2, 3, okay? What we're avoiding is this, going here. We want to reach, enter, reach, enter, reach, enter, okay? So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be building up your shoulders, and you're going to be building the muscle memory within your shoulders in order to be able to do this. So for comparison, Try Not Pool School has you lie down in order to do this. I like to do it vertically because, in my opinion, it's much easier to be able to do dry land swimming when you're vertical. And it also helps you kind of solidify the idea of what is up and what is down. Because when you're swimming, you're actually, remember, reaching up, pushing down. So we want to be able to swim just like we swim in the water, being able to swim in the air. Okay? So, you look silly doing it, but hey, you know what? I think it works. If you happen to have seen this and you do the exercise, let me know in the comments. Come back to this video and please comment, or check it out on YouTube or Rumble, and let me know if this whole dry land concept works for you. I give this to my students for homework. I don't know how much the kids actually do the homework. I don't know. But that's the general idea, is that you want to bring the shoulder back, keep the hand behind your head, and then let the hand come in somewhere about a foot above where your head is. Now, for the breath, you're going to rotate onto your side, take your breath. As the hand enters in, that's where you're going to rotate your face back to your neutral position. So as you're here, you're going to take your breath back down. Taking your breath. You don't want to be here and then you rotate the head, because you're going to be here, and then as you're reaching and rotating, that head is coming to the side. Remember, if you start here, then take your breath, too late. You're going to be here on your side, taking the breath, okay? And then as the hand comes over, this back hand comes over, you're then going to lock your head in with your shoulders, and then as you rotate, that face is going to go back in the water. Okay? So, now, what are the major differences? One sec. I gotta take a quick nose blow here. One sec. Oh, no! Don't unmute the mic. Mike. Okay. So now some of you are probably going to say, well, my shoulders are terrible. My shoulders don't like to rotate. Well, that means you need to get some flexibility. And what we need to talk about my lovely, oh, yep, there it is. My lovely affiliate, Dynamic Triathlete. Dynamic Triathlete is a fantastic app that helps you with overall mobility. This is more geared towards triathletes, and they have 20-minute routines that you can do every day. and they have a bunch of really good. They have a really good shoulder mobility. I think they have a shoulder mobility. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up on my phone right now, and then let's see here. So they have daily lower prevention, knee, foot, hip, and knee, posture correction. Okay, no, it's all lower body. Yeah, it's all lower body stuff. They got a whole upper body strength program. But usually the stretching is where you're going to get some daily, just some standard upper body mobility. Why? Anyway, sorry, I had a strange message on my phone. Didn't make any sense. So Dynamic Triathlete, totally 100% worth it. It's about $80 a year or $8 a month. And if you click on the link, there's going to be a whole landing page and blah, 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 lots of blah, blah, blah about injury for triathletes and running and cycling and stuff like that. Get all the way to the bottom to get the nitty gritty on the pricing. Basically, it is an app on your phone and you can access it on your PC as well. I like to do the mobility stuff during my lunch break. I have to come home and take care of my dog 3 days a week. So I come home, let the dog out, do my mobility, eat lunch, and then bring the dog back in and then head back to work. So there are about 15 to 18 minute daily stretching regimens, 100% worth it. Stretching will take your swimming to the next level, 100%. And Dynamic Triathlete can help you do that. Click the link in the comments to find out more. Use offer code SWIM, SWIM, for 10% off and a small portion of the sale. I get a commission off of the sale, and you get 10% off. So, so dynamictriathlete.com. Take care of those shoulders. They'll really, really, really help you out with swimming. Okay. So, also, just if you want to know more about what I do personally, check out my link tree. It's got all my online stream stuffs and a bunch of stuff associated with the Feral Swim Tech on it. I have a whole Amazon store with all my recommendations for equipment and gear and mobility and stuff like that. So check that out. And remember, I do in-person lessons. So if you live in the Los Angeles area, North OC or Orange County, North San Diego, Southern Ventura, Western San Bernardino, I can work with you. So shoot me an email, feralswimtech@gmail.com. Let's get something set up. If you don't live near me and you want me to still review your stroke, please send me footage, feralswimtech@gmail.com. If you are interested, and just send me an email. I'll tell you the shots that I'd like. And I will send you a Dropbox link to where you can just chuck it in, or a Google Drive link, and then just chuck it in there, and then I'll do the response, usually within about a week, and then I will send you the response. So okay. So let's talk about straight arm versus bent elbow recovery. Straight arm recovery is gaining more traction within the swimming world. When I was swimming, it was basically bent elbow, yes, and yes, YES some more. We never really dealt with straight arm recovery. So bent elbow is what I've been talking about for the majority of the stream. Straight arm is simply what it is. The arm is straight, and then you come back in. So a couple of pitfalls that can happen with straight arm recovery. If you go super hard on the straight arm recovery, you'll actually kind of do a snaking motion. So like I said, the straight arm recovery is not terrible. It has some really good uses. A couple really good uses are chop with open water. Doing a bent elbow in chop, you're going to be smacking waves all the time, and it really gets annoying. So doing a straight arm recovery will actually help you clear over all those chop waves in open water setting. Also, if you're swimming right next to a person, you don't want to feel them up with your fingertips, especially if you're a dude and you're next to a lady type. Yeah, that's a little awkward. So we don't want to do that. So we want to do straight arm recovery so the arm goes over anyone that you might be next to. Yeah, that's still one of the weirdest things for me. I've never really been in a pack of swimmers. Usually I'm kind of the lone dog out in front, or there's like me and maybe one other person that's either right behind me or right ahead of me. So I don't have a lot of experience yet swimming in an open water pack. But definitely, I've watched a fair amount of races where there are packs, and definitely they're all doing straight arm recovery. Yeah, those are the two major reasons why you'd want to do that. Oh, also shoulder issues. If you really can't rotate that much, 1 second. If you can't really rotate that much to your side, doing a straight arm recovery will help you be able to get away with less of a shoulder rotation. But like I said before, that actually creates other problems within your stroke. Get some mobility. DynamicTriathlete.com in the comments. So, yes, shameless plugs all over the place. So with the straight arm recovery, what we want to avoid is force on the recovery. Allow the recovery to occur naturally. One of the biggest problems that people have with catch-up stroke is where either A, they think of pulling as a start one hand, start one arm, start the next arm, start one arm, start the next arm, instead of it just being two circles continuously revolving. I'm sorry, hold on. I gotta blow my nose again. Dang it. I swear I'm gonna make it through this episode, kids. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this by hook or by crook. I'm gonna look like I'm complete. My nose is so red. It's like I look like I'm completely drunk out here. And I'm only drinking Gatorade and water. I actually have a funny story about that. Not my story. Happened to a friend of mine, but that one's for a different day. So with bent elbow recovery, typically this is used for pool swimming. However, if you happen to be like in a reservoir or, not a lot of chop, bent elbow, perfectly fine. Don't even worry about it. I was under the impression that, straight arm recovery was mostly for open water. And then I actually started to analyze it and really think about it. It's just like, yeah, bent elbow is perfectly fine unless there's like big chop. Yeah. So with the recovery is we actually want the recovery to happen at the same rate as the pull is going underwater. We don't want the recovery to happen and then the pull only being about halfway through. We want to synchronize the speed of the recovery arm and the pull arm underneath the water. So usually the easiest way to do this is with pull buoys. Just working on keeping both arms in sync, where one arm's pulling, the other arm's recovering. And as that arm comes to the front, that's going to start to pull, then the next arm's going to start to recover, and so on and so forth. So it's important to simply keep the arms moving at all times, but we want the recovery arm to actually pull as fast, or we want it to move as fast as our pull arm is pulling. We don't want either of those arms to get out of sync. We don't want one piece of the puzzle being faster than the other one. Like I said, bike. Think of it like pedaling on a bike. You want both arms to be moving just like both cranks are moving at the same time. One crank is recovering, the other crank is pushing down. You want to keep the pressure even on both pedals at all times. So same with swimming. We want to be able to pull, and then when we finish the pull, we want the arm to come out of the water at the same speed that we are pulling. And we don't want to force it. We don't want to throw the arm forward. We want to bring the arm forward. And if you do that, especially with the straight arm recovery, you're going to avoid the number one mistake, which is snaking. And that's usually you're throwing your shoulder forward, and that just, you wind up snaking in the water, which in open water, that's not a good thing, kids, because then you go, you start getting way off course, and then you look and go, where's the buoy? I don't know where the buoy is, kids. And then you lose a lot of time, or you have to get rescued by the kayakers. Let me think what else. The other major, the major pitfall is whack, the karate chop, where if you see people and their hand hits the water and there's a massive oversplash out to the side, that's usually because they're putting way too much force into the recovery and they're actually chopping the water. You can see this a lot with very undisciplined sprinters. What they're going to do is they're going to throw their hand into the water instead of reaching their hand forward. So I really need to film that. I'll see. No, I'm not going to go to the pool tonight. Next time I go to the pool, I'll film this. So you can see what not to do with the recovery, and I'll actually do it for Instagram. I'm gonna make an Instagram post next time I go to the pool. I promise it's gonna happen. I'm gonna update the Instagram. I'm so pathetic with social medias. I am really terrible with my Feral Swim Tech social medias. But by the way, this is why I wore a hat today. My hair is just gorgeous. So if you chop the water and there's a huge splash out laterally, you're wasting a lot of energy by forcing that hand into the water and shooting that water off to the side. It is just a complete energy waster. It can slow you down. It legitimately can slow you down. It's kind of a minor slowdown effect though. But the big problem is you're just wasting energy every single stroke you take. So that over time is going to drain you. And you're going to go slower just because, you're out of energy. And remember, it's really hard, if not like darn near impossible, to take on fuel and or liquids when you're swimming. I tell you what, one of the craziest things I ever saw was the 10-kilometer swim from the Olympics in open water. Those guys, man, they got like little fishing poles with water bottles, and they're just like glug, 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 chuck the bottle. They just keep going. I'm like, dude, I would just hurl if I did that. That is ridiculous. So have I ever swam 10 kilometers in water? Yes. I've done 10 kilometers before. I've done a couple 10-kilometer workouts. Most of them were 100 100s. Yes, we used to do 100 100s in college on the 3 minutes, and they were from a dive, and each one of them had to be like right at your personal best. So I had to go 50 100 freestyles on about the 48, and then I had to go 50 100 backstrokes on the 51. That was fun. One year we literally went to a Brazilian steakhouse and we ate meat for like 3 hours straight. Yeah, they didn't like us very much when we were done. We had about 10 collegiate swimmers in a Brazilian steakhouse for the lunch price. Yeah, we cleaned those guys out. We had to take a small break about halfway through, and we're just like, okay, let's just chill for a minute. Okay, go. Bring more meat. Oh man, collegiate swimming. That was a thing. That was a lot of fun. Tough as nails though. Some of the hardest workouts I ever did my entire career. So I'm trying to think about it, and I think that's just about it for the recovery. I mean, the only other thing is the recovery you do with the pull, with the breath, is the same recovery that you do without the breath. That's the other thing that you want to work on. Pulling with pull buoys. Pull buoys is going to be your best friend with this. Pull buoy and a snorkel. Pull buoy and a snorkel. So with the snorkel, what you're going to be able to do is just keep your face in the water and then just rotate and take it nice and easy. Do the dry land. That's going to really help with your shoulders. Just take it nice and easy. Don't go super fast with the dry land. So that'll help a lot with the isometrics. This will strengthen your shoulder through isometric movement. Nice and slow. It's just going to work a lot of those rotator muscles. If you take it nice and slow over time, you'll build up a lot of shoulder strength, and it's really going to help you out inside of the water too. So yeah, that's about all I got for recovery. Like I said, recovery isn't exactly a heavy technique focused area. Basically, if you get your elbow up, the thing I always tell the kids, elbow up, hand down, just always keep your hand below the elbow, and then you'll be able to get it into the water. There's a couple other things that you can do. Like I have this thing where you tuck your elbow into your armpit and then just reach up, reach down, reach up, reach down. That's a little bit more advanced. If you do the standing dry land thing that I did, that's basically good. Also, this is working with younger children who are not as situationally aware of their bodies and how to do stuff like that. I figure most adults are a little more disciplined with their bodies, so I can show you how to do that, and you can replicate that. Kids, they can do this. They can't really do this. So I'm custom tailoring it for you guys because I care. Yeah, that's about all I got for recovery. So if you're watching this and you have any other questions that I did not cover, pop a link in the comments. If you have any general questions, either put it in the comments or feralswimtech@gmail.com. I'm always on that email, so usually, like, if it's during the workday, I'll get you a response pretty quick. If it's not in the workday, I usually check it about 2 to 3 times in the evening, just to make a quick check. And yeah, so yeah, any questions, feralswimtech@gmail.com, or leave a comment here on Facebook, and I will get back to you soon on that. And yeah, so Feral Swim Tech on Instagram, YouTube, and Rumble. And yeah, so that's all I got for today. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Hope that you keep training. So my first race this year is going to be Los Alamitos Race the Base. That is the first weekend in March. That should be March 1st. I have to defend my title. I'm going to see how much more I can extend my win from last year in the pool. I won the 200-meter swim by about 20 to 30 seconds, so we're going to see if we can make it 40 seconds this year. And yeah, I'm not going to screw up the run. I'm not going to screw up the run course like I did last year. That was fantastic. Yeah, and then my second race is going to be Bayshore Sprint. Is the second weekend of March, and then I have no races until like September. That's how I roll. So anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Keep training. Thanks again to Mark and the crew down in Carlsbad at Team Zoot headquarters for allowing me to take over your Facebook page and do this stream. Once again, this is my weekly call out to runners and cyclists who actually, get into the nitty gritty of technique. Love to have you do a live stream here. If you are at all interested in doing this, feralswimtech@gmail.com. Oh, and also a reminder, I chose this 5:15 a.m. slot. This wasn't given to me by Mark. This is what fits into my schedule. So if you want to stream in the afternoon, as long as you don't take Mark's spot on Friday, schedule's wide open. Whenever you want to do it, just hop on and do the stream. If you want to learn how to set it up, run OBS, run webcams, even if you want to connect your cell phone cam to a live stream, let me know, feralslimtech@gmail.com. I've been live streaming since 2016. I can definitely help you get set up and help others with your knowledge. So that's it for me. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. And until later, good night, Isaiah Norris. Wherever you are, I'm out of here. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.